It's time for Veterans Issues, the show that brings you information about veterans, military, and their family. Now here's your host, Ken Rollins.
Welcome back to Veterans Issues here in 2018, the first show of the year. Today's guest is Tim Hodges from the Calhoun County Commission. Stay tuned, get your pen, be right back. Welcome back into Veterans Issues. We are brought to you by the Red, White, and Blue, by the way, and this is the first show of 2018, and we was off for a while and enjoying the holidays. Hope you did too, and I hope that you roll with the tide up there in Atlanta, and proud of what the Alabama team, no matter what your affiliation is, to the other team. So we're going to welcome to the show the Calhoun County Commissioner, District 2 here in Calhoun County. Welcome, Tim Hodges.
Thank you, Ken.
Good to have you here, man. You've been here before.
I have,
yeah.
Yes, sir.
Well, you going to be co-host?
I don't know if I could fill
things?
that job. I have a few other jobs I have to
I
take
hear
care
you.
of.
I know you
Yeah.
got about 6 or 7, so it wouldn't hurt you to put one more on there. How long have you been on the commission, by the way?
This is my 8th year,
8 years.
my second term, completion of my second term.
Okay,
So,
that's great. And District 2 covers what, East Anniston or?
District 2 covers roughly from White's Gap up almost to Piedmont, all the way down through the fort into Anniston, all the way to Talladega County line in Oxford.
Okay,
So really the whole eastern side of the county.
okay. That's one. I didn't know where those were. I don't even know who my. Are you my commissioner? I live off of Friendship Road.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
All of Friendship is all the way down Friendship Road to just about to Walmart, Cheehaw Clubhouse,
I'm off of Boiling
down
Springs.
through that road, yeah.
Okay, good. You changed that up some time back, and I just anyhow, they know where that's at. But what's the county commission is involved in a lot of stuff. We read about it in the paper, and one of the things I'll start off with something I hadn't even made a note of is that I see a lot of problems of the jail. The Calhoun County jail system is overcrowded, as in a lot of counties, but this is just awful.
Yeah, it's
overcrowding.
we're not the only county in the state that has an overcrowding problem. As with the state of Alabama, the state has a severe
Sure does.
overcrowding problem. It starts at the state, and a lot of what the state does comes back to the county. And last year they reclassified some felonies and misdemeanors as trying to reduce the number of inmates that are being held, so that you would get bond or probation to try to get people from filling up the jails. But that hadn't really happened. Our jail in Calhoun County is at the all-time high. We're running about double the capacity of what the jail was built for. We have a female population that is high. It's as
I
ever
saw
been.
that. I saw that.
More than double. It's a drug issue, and
I was going to ask you, how much would you say was?
and there's single women, married women, mamas and aunts, and I mean it's really an
Laying
issue.
on pallets on floors.
Yeah, we just don't have the room for it, so we're trying to address that. And
What's it going to take?
a lot of what we can do is dependent upon the legislature, because we don't have the authority to tax or to create any type of revenue stream as far as trying to correct it. So we can only deal with what we have, and so the legislature has to pass that to give us the right to either.
Because you
try
don't
to-
have a home rule.
Yeah, we have no home rule, and that makes it hard on the county, because the county ends up kind of holding the bag at the end of the day for everything falls through and it comes to us. So.
But I'm going to look in the camera because I know Randy Wood's watching, and he's going to take
Yeah.
care of that. When you go to Randy, he's
And Randy and Good and Dale and K.L. Brown and Dr. Boyd and Becky Nordgren, everybody that has an involvement with the county. And I realize the legislature starts today, and it's an election year, and they have a huge problem at the state level, as we do. So it's
that's
a
one of
problem all over.
I looked at the some of the issues that's coming up down there. That when they talk about the prison situation, I always got scared, because the way they was going to resolve it was $800 million was going to attach the veterans funds, our veterans assistance fund that we run these homes off of and things. they're going to attach those funds to assure a bond out of New York that would finance for 30 years at $50 million payback a year to build them prisons. And first of all, I know you're elected a politician, but down in Montgomery, when one of the politicians there says, we'll pay you back, and they were going to pay for it out of savings, those two things don't meet.
Yeah.
But anyhow, with that said, at the county, is the jail, is that the sole, are y'all the sole responsibility for funding?
We are, and it takes approximately 51% of the entire general fund budget to fund the jail. What people understand that the way the jail works, that you may be picked up in Oxford or Anniston or Piedmont or wherever, but if you're anything other than a misdemeanor, you're usually bound to the county jail within 48 hours. And once you are delivered down there, you become our responsibility. So the county taxpayer has to foot the bill, not the city that the person was picked up in. So,
well, if Ms. Jones and Mr. Jones is out there watching, why is it important to them is the danger that overcrowding presents in itself. But would you, and this I'm going to ask you, I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm just going to ask your personal opinion. Would you say that a large percentage of those people are in there just because of drugs?
There is a good portion of that. Now, the court system and the sheriff's department, everybody works together trying to get people out that, drug offenders and lower level, we try to get as many on probation and a GPS monitor or work labor, but a good majority of them are drug related or theft related that's tied to drugs. People are on meth or heroin, and they're looking to fund their drug problem, so they turn to stealing and writing bad checks and so forth.
There's a mental health issue too.
There's a mental health issue which is needs to be addressed better on the state level, which they're trying to do. And then there's a portion of true felons that need to be separated
but
and
there's some
incarcerated.
people that's locked up that needs to be in a facility.
Correct.
And you can't make a mental institution out of a jail.
We can't make one ourselves. We don't have the funds to do something. We don't have the means to create that.
I understand.
The state does, but they're kind of wrestling with the same issue. So, they have a lot of prisoners in the state prison system that need to be in the mental situation getting help. So they have to address that issue too for it to trickle down to us.
They're going to after they see the show. I guarantee they're going to be. You got, in this last minute, I wanted to hit on it. If you have any major projects underway for as paving and things like that people out there, the listeners might be interested in,
Well, we're getting close to completing the McIntosh Road, the end of Leon Smith Parkway. It's about 1/8 of a mile, but it's been worked on for several years. It's basically going to square up Leon Smith Parkway where it narrowed way down right before the Talladega line. So that road is going to be moved over, straightened up, widened to match up with what's there, which is going to help a little bit with the traffic situation. And we're fixing to pave, the county's fixing to pave Henry Road from
10th Street Mountain.
Yeah, from the Veterans Parkway up to the fire station there. There's a real bad section that the state didn't complete when they were working on it. So we're going to go in with our relationship with Anniston and do that on our behalf to help them
Let's
out.
hold it right there. We got to go to a break, got to pay some bills. We'll be right back after this. We're going to talk more with Tim about what's going on in Calhoun County. Be right back. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. We're talking with Tim Hodges. He's the county commissioner for District 2 in Calhoun County. And we were talking about some of the road deals. And that road that you were talking about, Tim, going down the Leon Smith Parkway, you turn right and you get in that small, narrow dog leg, like here I call it, before you get into Talladega County. And it's dangerous. I go through there on my way to Montgomery, but you go from a real wide road to a narrow road and in a curve at the same time. And so that's the area you're talking about.
Yes, sir. And
along where the white fence is there.
Yeah, and it's almost done. The road has kind of been moved over and it's straightened out, and the sides are matching up to Leon Smith Parkway. So you've got plenty of ample room to get off the road if there's an emergency. The road is smooth, so it takes the bend out of it. And it's going to help. There had been a few bad wrecks along the way over there for the years, and so we're going to take it down. It's just 1/8 of a mile, but it's been a very complicated project. It's been, I'm thinking probably between us and the state, probably a $2 million project for 1/8 of a mile. It sounds like a lot, but when you buying the property from people and you're relocating utilities and power, water, gas, cable, and it's a lot of work for such a small section of road.
I wish I'd owned some property along there. I'd have got y'all.
So, but it's going to be good for Oxford, good for people in Friendship down that area. Help alleviate with the park and all. The traffic is just really.
Well, you know who it's going to be the best for? It's for people that don't travel a lot and just find themselves in the curve.
Sure.
Going from way out here to way here. It's
and we're also doing there at the Choccolocco Park where the light is, the Boiling Springs Road, take a left. I've gotten with Oxford and we're doing kind of a project together of helping fix that road and pave it. So, because there's a lot of traffic that's using that as an alternative, not to mention if you live there, but.
What are you talking about, Boiling Springs Road?
Take a left and go back down that way.
Boiling Springs along the creek?
Yeah, okay.
Oh, look, y'all gonna do that?
Yeah.
That's important to me.
Some of the edges were getting real thin and the buses were coming through there, and it's kind of a mix between the county and city, so we have a good relationship with Oxford.
Well, what you got is you got Choccolocco Creek. When the water's rough going there, it's digging out from under the road, and the road is tilting. Yeah, I was hoping someone going to do that, and then I'd like to see an underbrush where you could actually see the creek. That would really be.
And the piece of the Hell's Gate Bridge, that used to be that was all in the county.
Yeah.
And when they started the Choccolocco Park, we still had that property and the property of the Boiling Springs Road that was abandoned there along the creek. We knew Oxford would like to do something with the canoes and so forth. So I got with Oxford and Don and we worked a deal where we basically gave Oxford that property along there and the bridge, being responsible for the bridge. And so it's going to be good when you can go there, throw your kayak or canoe or whatever you have into the creek right there.
I'll tell you something else would be good for you. You're out there at Choccolocco Park, you want to ride your bicycle over the bridge, and there's a Commons, there's a Publix and all those other stores there.
Sure.
And you're right there in their backyard. That'd be an awesome deal. Yeah. I used to go over that old bridge all the time. I have to wait on somebody else to come across on the other side.
A lot of tales go that bridge over the years.
Yeah. That's a big. The commission also has responsibility for the courthouse, right?
Correct. We're in charge of the maintenance and security of the courthouse, as far as keeping the grounds and the condition of the building. And we have a maintenance supervisor that works there, Tim. He does a great job, and of course the sheriff's department takes care of the security. And Matthew Wade, since he's become sheriff, has done a great job. Matthew and I have a great relationship. He's good for Calhoun County, and he's following Larry, and Larry did a great job. And so they have their hands full. The jail situation, he's doing a good job with that.
With what he
has.
to work with.
So,
you got I used to hang around down at the commission a lot, but they had some involvement. I don't remember everything was, but with the juvenile facility out there on the Camp Lee or something like that?
Yeah, it's
Camp
Lewis.
Camp Lewis.
It's at the juvenile, and next door is Camp Lewis, and then they have a female wing that's in the rear. But the Coosa Valley serves multiple counties: Calhoun, I think Clay and Cleburne, and
St. Clair.
So each city, Oxford or Anniston or the county, has to send juveniles there. Their operating budget, a lot of it is made up from the support of the different areas. Unfortunately, the county gets stuck with the largest portion of the bill because the breakdown is, you're giving it to it on a breakdown, but a lot of cities, they don't necessarily pay their fair share because they don't have to. So the county is responsible for making up any deficit that the Coosa Valley Youth Services operates under.
I got jumped on one time. I made put an article in the paper about solving some of the prison population and stuff. It was the old Starship building out at Fort McClellan. Millions and millions of dollars. And I said, there's a facility, and I'm not talking about dangerous offenders.
Sure.
and I'm talking about people that could go out
Minimum
and
security
work,
type.
and they could work in the workforce and get money to pay restitution
Sure.
to the people they offended.
Yeah.
And they're not any more dangerous than some of the people I see in the line at Walmart. No,
Absolutely.
they don't want to, I got jumped
And
on.
there is a big need for, you know, I'll talk to constituents that have people in jail, but they can't produce an income when they're in jail.
Right.
And I understand they have restitution to make, whether it be child support or car wreck or whatever the liability is. But we're better off if that person is contributing, but yet is still responsible for what he has committed, the crime he committed.
My argument was that if they in there and they can work for somebody on the outside and then go back in the evening or whatever and take that money to give to their family or in child support or pay the debt back if they stole something or whatever, any way to repay society,
Sure.
that they become a better person. They've cleared their debt. They go back out free. They're not. And it just seemed to me like it was a win-win, but boy, I mean, they got jumped because of where it was located.
Yeah, it's a great idea, but then when you get into locations, excuse me, that's when everybody.
Not my back door.
I love the idea, but let's do it somewhere else. You know,
Yeah.
like on the other side or over here. Or,
Well, see, we experienced that with the chemical incinerator.
Incinerator, exactly.
Yeah.
You
I
know,
was on the other end of that, where they're not in my backyard, and
Exactly.
I went across the country. I went to Utah, I went to Kentucky and places, and it was all the same thing, not in my backyard. You know, but it's okay to put it over there, but don't put it in my backyard.
Exactly.
So
That's the same thing.
But we got a problem. We got a problem with that. And I
Absolutely.
just didn't. The one thing I want to tell you, I got a little over a minute. One of the other problems that we have in the county, and it's you can't do anything about it, but I would feel you out on it because I know you know something about it, and it's the animal control situation. We have a huge problem, as it does in every county, every city in the United States, is dog puppy mills and people like that, and no responsibility. We have a problem with the greed that comes with giving free care, free chips installed and vaccinations and neutered and spayed and that kind of thing. So we ain't got less than a minute. I know you can't address it too much, but from the county, people expect the county to do things. You can't do anything. You can't just go in people's yard and grab their dog.
Correct. We can't go on someone's property that has a dog in a fence or that's restrained in any way. Now, a dog that's out roaming at large, that's running around, we can help address that issue, but it's a series of responsibility.
The limit, we're going to cut you off because I just say this. The one person in this county that everybody knows is Jane Cunningham, and I talked to Jane about Tim Hodges. I said, how's Tim doing? She said he is the best that they had, and they don't know what they would do without Tim Hodges and the work that he's done working with Jane Cunningham and her group. Tim, I appreciate it, buddy, and I wish
thank you for having me on. Absolutely.
And thank you for what you do for us.
Thank
here
you
in
for
Collin
what you
County.
do.
All right.
Absolutely.
And we're going to go to a break. Come back. I got news that you can use. Stay tuned. Welcome back to Veterans Issues. I do appreciate Tim Hodges coming over here today. He's a great man. You're doing great work. And I didn't get enough to talk about the animals thing, but I really just wanted to convey to you, a lot of people get frustrated in there where they see animals being tied up and chained up. The county commission can't do anything about that. They can't just go out there, even though I tell you what, if they allowed Tim Hodges to do it, he'd be cutting a lot of chains on his own because it goes without saying, because he loves the animal. This is something I want to pass on to you, especially veterans out there that's looking for a break. And this young fella, I hired him last year. He did great work. I'm just going to say something about him. His name is Hayden Crow. He's got a company called New Leaf Lawn and Landscaping. Now, here's a phone number I want you to write down. Keep somewhere by your phone there where you can, if you need some landscaping done or you need your grass cut or whatever, 256-201-7757. 256-201-7757. Hayden Crow, and that's he covers Cleburne, Calhoun, Talladega, Randolph, and Clay County. Does great work. It's about half the price I've been paying others, so it's good to know that, and you can thank me later. On Saturday, February the 24th, the Patriots Ball is going to be held up at the Stonebridge Farms up in Cullman, and it begins at 1,700 hours. For you Marines out there, that's 5 o'clock. Noah Galloway, the guy that's a double amputee, did, I think, Dancing with the Stars. Noah Galloway is going to be the keynote speaker, and the phone number for that That's why I say get your pen. 205-789-9637, or you can email Patriotsball. Patriotsball of Alabama. One word. Patriotsball of Alabama @gmail.com, and that's February the 24th up in Coleman at the Stonebridge Farms, and Noah Galloway is going to be there. So I want to remind you too that we're being sponsored now by a friend of mine that owns Superior Hyundai, and that's Mac Huckabee, and we got they're giving a discount to veterans and military and first responders, and I don't know exactly what that is, but I'll have it next week on here. But Superior Hyundai on Quintard up there, stop by and see Mac and tell him we talked about him here on the show. The VA hotline, 855-948-2311. 855-948-2311 is the VA hotline. I want you to remember the Pigskin Roundup. This is coming up, and this guy that's the keynote speaker for that is Todd Bates, and he's the defensive coordinator for defensive line coach for Clemson. Oh, it's Clemson. I got Crimson Tide on my mind. Todd Bates, the defensive line coach, and that's the 12th annual. It's on Monday, January the 15th, down at the Word of Life here in Oxford, and it's get to meet all them young football players, whatever. The crisis line for the military. If you know a veteran that's having a problem or somebody's in the military, here's a number I want you to keep handy: 1-800-273-8255. And when the voice answers, press 1. That's 1-800-273-8255 and press 1. That's if you know of a veteran that's experiencing some problems that might be wanting to harm himself or herself. That's the number you call. Wounded Warriors of Alabama. Wounded Warriors Alabama @gmail.com. 256-458-2715. That's Ross Winter and his folks. And they help veterans doing it. You don't have to be a wounded warrior, but if you know a veteran in need, that's the number you call. I want to thank him for all them turkeys he brought down there to the clinic for the veterans at the Veterans Clinic. Thank you, Ross. And this week's salutes goes out to all them. We just had a heck of a campaign with Toys for Tots with the Marine Corps League and all those guys. And a lot of people made that happen. We appreciate all of them. This salutes, then we'll see you next week on Veterans Issues. Salute.